Hello everyone and welcome back to a new LEGO Star Wars set review. This is R2-D2. This set has 1,050 pieces and has 2 minifigures including Darth Malak and of course R2-D2. Here's a quick look at the back of the box, and of course before this, a few years prior, we had the $240 R2-D2, which I personally do not have because I'd much rather have the smaller one because I don't think it's better, I just like the scale more in my opinion. And of course, there is the information plaque for R2-D2 in this set, and let's get into this review. And here we have the information plaque for R2-D2. If you want, you can pause this video and read it now. However, there isn't much about this except for the plaque itself. We can turn it around and we can see 2 things immediately. 1, R2-D2 has back printing, which is new for this time frame. I believe it was first introduced in 2023 or 2024. So when the set was released last year in 2024, it was pretty new. And the other problem I have with this is that can happen really easily, and especially when sometimes when you're trying to pick it up, I mean, it doesn't really happen, but if you're moving this, especially forward, I have problems with it, and they keep doing this with every single version of these. Like, you have to hold them both down, and it's really awkward. We'll pull up 2 others that I have really quick. We have Choppers, and we have C-3POs. For Choppers, it's the same thing. Pops right off. 3PO. Hold it, does the same thing. It's not great at all, and it's just something that I really dislike about these sets nowadays, is that you are not getting the best possible stand or best possible information plaque that you could be getting in this type of set. However, these all do match up, which I will get to in my comparison video between the 3 sets. And again, nothing too crazy, you're just getting R2 here. But of course, you are getting the Darth Malak minifigure as well in this set. This is a 25-year anniversary minifigure, and it's one of the best in my opinion. It's one from the Old Republic era, and it's obviously from the video games, not much of the shows or movies. And again, simple back printing, simple cape. But this minifigure is honestly so pretty, and I would recommend investing in this set because this minifigure is going to cost a lot of money someday. Revan alone was like a $5 poly bag that you could get at Target, and was I think a May 4th exclusive as well, and that's selling for an outrageous amount right now. I'm not saying that this minifigure will do the same, but it's going to get up there in price for sure. And now we can get into the R2-D2 himself. And this build is honestly growing on me over time. I used to hate how the head was built. I thought the proportions were a little bit odd, and it's definitely a little bit small. However, it gets across everything that it needs to, in my opinion. And that goes to say that the body is also great, in my opinion. I'm mad that these can't move out, unlike Choppers, which can. It also has good-looking legs. It doesn't have the rocket boost, which is a little unfortunate, in my opinion. It has a 3rd leg, which we'll get to in a second. And again, its 2nd leg. And then here's a look at its back. So again, it's very simple, but for $100, it feels kind of heavy, and it's not too bad. Now we can also take a look at the top. This dome print is of course printed. It's not sticker like this is, and some of the other stickers in the set. All of the prints, besides for the top one, are stickers, so there is a lot there. Now, one focal point that you might see to try to pick the set up, which I've had a lot of problems with recently, is by the head. Now, of course, you wouldn't want to rip it by the head because it's going to do that every single time. Of course, there's an underlook of the head, but that's not ideal because this is kind of the way I would want to pick it up, in my opinion, because there isn't like another great way to do it that's comfortable except for lifting him by the head. Now, I say that in its base form of just play features that you can immediately move. The legs can move back and forth. They like to jolt back. They're kind of cool, but they're nothing too crazy. And then we can flip this on its underside. You can see there's tiles here, and this section, you just rip it off, which is something that I necessarily don't really like because I wish you could put it inside the body like the previous versions, but you can make him stand in like a normal standing position. And that's him with his head back on. But of course you can see he stands up pretty straight, nothing too crazy. But there is a little bit of suspension in this. When you push it back, it jerks back forward. For most of the time, that is. Like when it goes forward, it's meant to go here, but not back. So it jerks forward, which I think is actually really cool. And it's just a great technique. Now, one cool thing that I've liked to do with this, especially with this, is take this off by here, and you can just put that aside. When you flip this over, if you just attach this in the middle, like so, and put it back up, the leg is not fully there, but it's not fully hidden either. Ugh. So when you lift it up, it just looks like the leg is about to come out, and I think that's kind of cool. It fills that gap pretty well, but again, it's nothing too crazy. It looks a little bit awkward, but it's something you can do with this set. With this set, there are 3 additional add-ons that you can add to this R2-D2. One is that you can put this part here on either side, and then there's another one for the opposite side. And the third one is this little antenna piece that you can put on top of his head. To attach these, all you have to do is remove these panels here and here, just like that, and you can put these like so. These ones are a little bit tricky. I recommend definitely lifting it up before you put them on, because then you get just this avoidance from happening. And you can do that with that one, and we can put the other one on as well. Again, a little awkward. And of course, you can lift them up and push them down in any way you like. You can also spin this one so you can have different angles. And again, it's nothing too crazy. It makes it so it looks like the panels are opening, which I think is quite cool because it uses the same piece. And it's nothing too crazy, but it's there. And lastly, there's the one on top of the head. We can put those down and go to the side of the head, and you can see it goes there. You can move it a little bit higher, but I don't really recommend that. It looks a little bit awkward, but you can totally do that. Again, it's nothing too crazy, but it is there. And that's really all there is for this set. It's definitely a decent set for $100 that I kind of recommend. If you don't have this, I recommend getting it. It was definitely a pleasant surprise with all the play features that are in this. You can basically just play with this and you can roll around. I mean, it's not gonna have the best experience because it's tiles and not tires, but you can still like play with him and it works. I think very well at that. But yeah, that's everything for this video. Please subscribe and like, and I will see you all again later. Goodbye.